Yo Trades by Easel here. It is Friday, so it is time for a weekly review. So we did end this week in the green of 175. Not much, but it is certainly better than ending a week in red. So I will take it. I do like to grade myself, so let's start there. So I would say this trading week was a C for me. A lot of mistakes happened this week. A lot of things I'm not thrilled about. Um, you can look back and say, well, you were green on the week, and absolutely, I was green. If you want to look at the money side of things, yeah, I was green. But there was a lot of mistakes this week. So let's go over these. I'll try to keep them brief on each day, but I think it's important to kind of look at those. So on Monday, it looks like we took two trades. The first one was a 5-minute orb trade with a loss. We did wait for the 15-minute orb trade. We did take that. This day it was a recovery of the loss and a 1-to-1 R. It looks like price hit the 200 MA and bounced off. We ended up closing the position once we reached that 200 MA. So today it looks like it was a win, $74. Not much, but it was a recovery of a loss. So Tuesday was actually probably one of my worst mistake days. This was also a winning day of $74. I waited for the 5-minute and the 15-minute orb to set up after an hour long of consolidation. I trailed my stop way too tight on this trade and got taken out. This would have been an absolute banger. It was a bank holiday, so I was concerned about volume. I did not think price action was going to be able to break through these inefficiencies. It was a 4 hour and a 1 hour. In the market, of course, taught me a quick lesson. And on this particular day in the setup, I was more focused about the money and winning and losing than I was the process, and it clearly showed. Again, it was a winning day, but man, this was one of my bigger losses because I don't trail the stop that tight and totally just blew it on that end. So on Wednesday, we had a win of 147. Looks like we took the 5-minute orb and hit target. We did leave a runner, and we did add to this trade when it came back into the 5-minute fair value gap, had an engulfing candle. I added two to my position there, had my stop underneath the engulfing. I was not liking price action, so I made a mistake by moving my stop below the 5-minute fair value gap. I was willing to risk 50, but I was not willing to risk 132. We were blessed and price bounced back up, so I was able to fix my wrong and move my stop back to where the engulfing candle was. And then we got taken out for 50. So the original profit on the day was 200, and we ended up closing Wednesday out 147. So on Thursday, it was a two-trade day as well. Looks like we lost our first one. We were able to recover it on the second trade once price broke out from the bottom of the range. On this day, I did get the opportunity to add, which was great, but I did make a mistake on this day. My normal target is 2-to-1. On this trade, it was a 2.6-to-1 RR trade. But instead of leaving a runner, which I normally do, I flattened all. Uh, Price went on a rampage down. I wasn't a part of it. Didn't have any runners because I just closed and flattened all, and price action wasn't even giving me any reversal signs. So I marked this up as a mistake because I could have had plenty of time and opportunity to sell 5 contracts and leave that runner. So Friday was a smack in the face. I mean, we took two trades. Both were good trades to take, valid. Everything was done right on my part. The second one actually is I was a little bit surprised to lose. I mean, that was a perfect A+ setup. Um, but as you can see, price just wicked me out and ran to target on both of these. Looking back on this week, and the reason why I give myself a C is because of the mistakes I made. But honestly, when your losing day is bigger than any of your winning days, to me, that just seems like a recipe for disaster. When I risk 100, 150 a trade and I end this week, only up 175, risk versus reward here wasn't there. And a lot of it was because stupid mistakes. I did end up taking, more losses this week than I would like, and I was able to recover those losses. But, when I look back at this week, 2 days at $75, one day at 140, the next day at 85, and then you lose 200. And I'm not here saying boo hoo hoo, I only made 175 bucks this week. It's trading's about growth. And if there's some things that I can fix, things that I can do different, I certainly want to be striving for those. So I will spend some time this weekend. I will try to review these trades, a little bit in depth here and see, what are the mistakes that I did and how can I work on that? I think the biggest thing that I can work on is honestly just set the trade and stop managing it. It's such an easy thing to say, but man, is it incredibly hard to do. So I appreciate you guys watching this. Feel free to leave a comment, like, subscribe. Hopefully, as time progresses here, we can grow and start leveling our game up here to the point where I can start adding some bigger size on. I'm really not interested in adding the size right now, but more of just fixing some of these little things. Take care. I will see you guys next week.